Once again, Apostle Harry Musah Adams, and I'm a guest. Nene, you didn't come about a life from the northern part of Ghana, from a Muslim community or family, coming out to become a Christian, growing in the faith to a certain level, the understanding. Then the life moving from Ghana to South Africa. When you fast, you could do her. In a brother, born her. Listen here. On my South Africa, I didn't have baby or he can call. It's just to be our chassis. Be our chassis, be our way. Some people are destined to be somewhere, certain places, at certain point in time. And if you are not destined to be there, be careful. So don't look at somebody's life. In the end, when she said, "Ubia kuntimenso me koho," be someone say, "Am I destined to be here at a point in time, or is it the right time?" You can be at the right place at the wrong time, or be at the wrong place at the right time. This is a mystery. Mystery to now here on NYANSATV. So many apostles didn't come about their life, starting from Ghana. Kind of fast, in the middle of the insecurity in South Africa that people talk about, saying rough. Now, what me sustain as a foreigner, what my juma. Then he will tell us much about South Africa so far. As a Ghanaian wanting to travel down here, your kind of attitude you must leave. Being here, a man for challenge me baby as an big attack near death, but nobody gets close to some of the people who are foreigners. There's so much to learn here. If you only want to come to South Africa, don't miss this interview. Share us if you're coming for visit. Share us on your channel. Please learn from this interview. We try to about. Now, see, mom saying, and then Ghana, yeah, the keyboard for be about to the keyboard. The keyboard here app on your phone that allows you to write every Ghanaian language with all the vowels correctly on your phone. Simple. So if you download the keyboard on App Store or Play Store on your phone, anytime you want to write any Ghanaian language, Dinifara, Dagati, Dagbani, Mampurusi, Farafara, you can write ever, you can write down Ashanti, any language that has the Ghanaian vowels, it is in there. So please go on your phone, Play Store, download the keyboard. They're part of our supporters who supported us to be here today in South Africa. Thank you very much, our team who are doing this marvelous job. And my friend and pastor, Senior Prophet Gabriel Chumesi, Investor Christ Church in Pretoria, Papa, I salute you so much. God bless you so much for the support. Mami Adrimpa, Sabah Sheba Center, Dr. Sabah, thank you so much. You were so much in support of this journey. We thank you very much for your support. You try me hoba, na yishan kubana say. The guest, the Apostle Harry Musah Adams. From somewhere to somewhere. Maybe it's here. Once again, welcome to NYANSATV.
Thank you.
Today is about your life. Please tell us. You're looking splendid. You're good in black.
Thank you, sir.
Very good in black.
Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you once again.
We
Apostle, you started from somewhere.
Yes.
I want to know about your journey from Ghana to South Africa and how you've been able to fly through the storms. I don't know if you came by stowaway, you went through the desert. I don't know where you through Kenya, you walk through the mountains, and you don't know how you've been able to make it. People are crying every day. There are no jobs in South Africa. As a foreigner, you have to create your own something to do. The way the place is rough, people becoming drug addicts and all that. Tell us about your life from Ghana as a man of God, coming over here. People come in, you can stay. Want to hear all about you.
Well, to the viewers, the Lord bless you and the Lord watch over you. Thank you so much for having me on this, your
channel,
glorious channel.
It's a pleasure.
Really, I'm encouraged, and you've come far.
Thank you very much.
You've come far, and I believe you will go far.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah,
we're flying through Africa. Every part of Africa is where we're going because we want to bring life back again, possible. Good information to the people wherever they are. Africa must rise again, and this is what we're doing. Thank you very much. Let's hear about you. Apostle, where did you start it from? When did you decide to become a Christian? Let me start from there.
Well, to everything that I'm going to say, I will just title it Grace Possibility.
You see, the man is a preacher. You could see everything he's giving it a title.
Grace possibility.
Grace
So it will govern our discussion.
Okay.
So it's all about grace. Paul said, I am who I am by the grace of God. If I sit here and boast of anything of my wisdom, intelligence, or whatever, it will be a blasphemy.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed the grace of God, and my case is different.
Okay.
My case is different. Well, from Ghana, I'm actually from Agona, Ashanti.
You're from Aguna?
Yes.
Sechere. Aguna Sechere.
Yes.
Jamasi. Aguna Jamasi.
Aguna Jamasi.
Oh, off the Kumasi Mampon
Yes.
Highway.
Yes.
Oh.
From Aguna, you get to Jamasi.
Jamasi.
Jamasi to Mampon.
To the mountains,
Yes.
to Nintim,
Nintim.
then Filim Junction, down home, Bosofo, entering Mampon.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm from Aguna.
So you're not a Northerner?
My father is a Northerner.
Okay.
And then my mother is Ashanti.
Oh.
Yeah.
So where were you born and raised?
Aguna.
Aguna.
Yes. Yes. Born into Islamic family for 28 years.
28 years. Okay.
Yes. And I had an encounter with the Lord.
So you were doing everything any Muslim would do.
Yes.
You can say all their karatu and everything. You can say.
I recite Quran cover to cover.
Hey.
Of head. You know.
So you recite Quran.
Yes.
Cover to cover.
Cover to cover.
Even today.
Yes.
You've not forgotten any.
No.
Charlie, is it not surprising?
No.
Does this reflect in your Christian faith, as in knowing what the Quran says, knowing what the Bible says? You do that?
I think it gives me
a lot of perspective, right? A better picture of.
I know people will study for argument. I didn't study for argument.
Okay.
And it wasn't something that I found something wrong with it that I decided this is wrong, I want this. So my case would be definitely different.
Okay.
I love Islam. I love everything about it. And forget about the philosophies of people that are intellectually argumentative who want to. I don't do that. Souls matters to me. God's ordinances matters to me more than argument. So I've been a Muslim for 28 years, and there was a man by the name Pastor Otin who will always see me and say, Osama bin Laden, and that's what I love. And one day he met me.
Were you a ruffian or something?
Nah, man, I was a jihadar.
Okay.
Like someone that even the school I went to, anyone that is watching that knows me.
What school is that?
Aguna SDA Secondary School.
Secondary, yes.
It's SDA school, it's a 7-day Adventist. The badge supposed to be in God we trust and what. But at that stage, I went and removed the badge, print my own Inshallah on it. So I wasn't someone that just play. I don't play.
Okay.
What I believe, I believe. Anyone that knows me knows that if I don't believe, I don't believe. You
live in that life of I'm a Muslim, I don't care what you're saying.
Care. If I meet you trying to talk to someone about Christianity, I'll fight you.
Fight the person?
Yeah, I'll fight you. I defend what I believe in.
Either good or bad, you don't care.
Sir, the interpretation of good or bad has to be personal or foreign. What do you?
It's relative.
To me, this is what I believe in. So talking about that, by the grace of God, I got saved, and
how did your family take it?
It wasn't easy.
If you mention it was not easy, what do you mean?
You see, one thing about Islam is not just a religion.
Talk to me.
To Muslim, it is family. You being a Muslim has more to do with family bond than individual choice. So, you becoming a Muslim or you being a Muslim or deciding to go out of Islam, it's like you are breaking the hedge of your family. What gives your family power, authority, relevance, voice in a community? You are breaking it.
So it's like you're telling the community that your father, they don't do the right thing.
Exactly.
So your father will not be happy with you.
Exactly. So there's those kind of challenges. But to cut a long story short, I believe my family saw a great change in me in terms of lifestyle, in terms of behavior. I've become more better as a Christian. So now I think it brought a sort of reconciliation to say, when he comes, according to the culture, I have to bow down and greet. It does not change.
You still do what
I do.
They expect of you.
Yes, I
give
do.
them the respect.
The respect. When I'm eating with elders, I have to hold the bow. I still do it. So they saw genuineness in transformation.
You didn't see them as enemies?
No. That's my family. That's my family. I will be there for them. They will be there for me. Religion shouldn't come and bring separation in whatever family.
Let's talk about your pastoral life.
Yes, sir.
Let's move it.
Well,
why did you decide to become a pastor? You were a Christian, fine. Why?
I didn't decide to be a pastor. The day after I became born again, the desire to learn how to pray was very high, and all that I could say is, oh God, when people are praying.
So you say,
oh God. That's all I could
say. You don't know anything.
I don't know anything. So I approached the man of God, and I said, sir, from Islam, I know praying 5 times a day, and I don't sleep at night. I do my nafla, I pray at midnight hour, So it's an exercise that I was born with.
But here you don't know how to do it.
So I don't know how to do it. So to me, it's a problem if I can't pray. And not just pray rightly. So I asked the man of God, I said, no, it will take time. Then God's been so good. After I became born again, I slept under a tree for over 6 months. I ate from dustbin for 3.
Why?
Because family will turn back on you.
You were not ready to give you, feed you and all that.
So
you sleep on the tree?
Yes.
In Agona?
No, Sakumono.
In Accra? By then you moved to Accra?
Yes.
Why did you move finally from Agona to Accra?
That is because I was with my uncle, who was then a minister of state. So I was with him, and then politically also I was connected behind the scene with one of the big men. So that was my job. But with pastoral, when I became born again and I was pursuing prayer and whatever, knowing how to pray, there was this house that they asked me to be a caretaker. So there was a pastor, I think a resident pastor of that church, who also is a prayer leader, prayer warrior in the church. So I love the way he prayed. So I approached him and said, hey, can you teach me how to pray? He said, hey, yes, we can do it. And I said, no, why don't you come to the house where I'm the caretaker? So in the midnight hour, we can pray. Say, okay. So we prayed. Whilst we prayed, and this I'm saying it live, that's the origin of my boldness and confidence in Christ. You can't tell me otherwise. I know what I've seen. I know what I've heard.
Let's hear you.
When, from a Muslim background, I taught, and I always believed that this thing of falling down and shaking and whatever is fake. So, although I'm born again, that thing is somewhere behind my back, behind my mind. And so I asked him that he should teach me how to pray. So we started praying in the yard. We were praying. And this thing happened, anybody that know towards Sakumono village, there's a pharmacy called Jotafa. No, is it Jotafa? Yeah, Jotafa. You turn right. Our house is on the left. And then this encounter happened up there. The church is also up there. They call it Powerhouse or Fruit. It's a power, yeah, something. So now, whilst we were praying in that house, all that I could say, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. And he was busy praying. So I was going, oh God, oh God. You know, I don't believe in this falling and shaking. The next thing I saw, I felt vibration. My body was shaking. Shaking. Then I fell down. As I fell down, I started rolling from the garage to the gate. From the garage to the... I was rolling. I didn't know what was happening to me. To anybody that don't believe this, hear me. Not knowing, it was things when I was a Muslim, not because as a Muslim, but the occult part of Islam. In every religion there is, so this was the occult part of the spirituality aspect, So I've eaten a lot of things. I've gone through a whole lot of things for protection, for this.
Did you see them? Did you see them giving you those things?
Yes.
When you were young? You saw them giving it to you?
Some of them I personally did it. Went for them.
What were they? The things you went for? Charms. You swallow them or something?
Some of them you eat. Some of them you bath. Some of them they cut you. They put. So. Not knowing, whilst I was falling, the moment I fell and I was rolling up and down, I was going through deliverance. And I didn't know. So a whole lot of things went out of me.
Were you vomiting? Did you?
There was no vomiting, but there was this shaking, violent shaking, where it's like something was coming out of me. And funny enough, when those things were happening, subconsciously I felt like, no, consciously I was like, let me stop this nonsense. What am I doing? You see, and I couldn't stop it. So I kept going up and down, up and down. And the pastor was just praying. He had an understanding that I was going through deliverance. So now when I finished, then there was a sign where, that is what I believe the church must go back.
Okay.
The raw encounter and manifestation, where you don't care what is happening. That was the encounter that David had. He had an encounter with God to a point where he started dancing to nakedness, and he didn't bother. Let me say this today.
Is that a true spiritual sign?
That what?
As you're saying, as people turn those things that happen.
It depends on the communication that is going on in the realms of the spirit.
So that is also a sign.
A sign.
Okay.
And some also is also a sign of an evil spirit
entering.
That is there already. So that evil spirit can also manifest.
So it's a sign that the spirit's at work.
At work.
Either now, good or bad.
Whether good or bad. Now, when it was going like, I was going like that, then the thing started turning me around. And then, you see, it was in a yard, and there was a door into the main house. So now, as I was going, I was being turned like this, like this, like this. God bear me witness. I was not conscious. But somehow I could tell that this is what is happening. Then I was going around like this until the spirit moved me into the bedroom of that pastor. The room I gave to him, which I have never entered since he occupied it. It's in my nature. Even my sons that are with me here, they will tell you I don't go to their rooms. So I didn't enter his. I have never entered. I don't know what is there. This is true spiritual encounter. Undiluted. I moved like this. As I got there, I saw that it's like the Spirit is leading me somewhere. All I have to do is to follow. Now, when I went there, all that I saw was like my hands were shaking like this, and it took me behind the door. And until I saw that, I never knew there was something like that. The Spirit moved me, and then it stretches my hands towards the back of the door, and there was a blazer there. And my hands was shaking like this. It went right inside the inner pocket of the blazer. Lo and behold, my hands touched oil. How did I know there was oil in the pocket? The pastor was still in the yard praying. He didn't know what was happening to me. When I took the oil, now it reversed me back like this until I got to the pastor and my knee started shaking and it bent like this. I knelt and I lifted the oil like this. So obviously he saw it and he took and he anointed me. The moment the oil touched my head, I fell on the ground. My mouth opened. Prophecy started. I started with him, the pastor. Spoke concerning his great-grandparents, concerning his frustration, things that I said. It was when I finished. He said, I'm shocked. And the Lord spoke to me and said, through that prophetic encounter, that he said, I'm going to take you to nations as a deliverance prophet. Whilst I was praying before that encounter of the oil, when I fell and the deliverance happened, I started, my lips started shaking, vibrating. And I could, mama. The next thing, I still could remember the tongues that came to me first time. Shandarama, Shakatarama, Shandarama, Shakatarama, Shandarama, Shakatarama. So the moment I got it, I didn't want to lose it. Because I thought if I keep quiet, I might not be able to say it again. I spoke it. Even with all the prophecy that I did, the encounter and whatever, after that, I went into the house, went into the bathroom, filled the water basin, and I went in. From that night, almost around 12 midnight, I only got out of the water 9 a.m. the following day. Because I didn't want to lose speaking the tongues. Shantarama, Shantarama, Shantarama. The day I went out of the water, when I stepped out, anybody I met on the street, I will prophesy. I will prophesy. So that was the beginning.
Did you start the church?
Come again?
Did you start a church right from there?
No. I was still a brother in church. Then, a gift that is not guarded can be distracted.
Talk to me.
So now, the gift of the prophecy has come, but there must be room for training, guidance.
Where did you receive your training?
That's where I'm coming to. So the church I got saved from, the man of God is a prophet. So now, because there was no order, there was no training, and because the gift is there now, let's say when he's ministry and he say, there are 10 people here today that the Lord is blessing, or the Lord is going to open a new door for them. From the back, I'll be moving. I'll pick one of all of them one by one. I'll go and touch. Remember, where the Spirit of God is, there is what?
Liberty.
Order.
Mm-hmm. But here,
this one,
disorder.
There is Adams, who is excited about this new thing that is not controlled, to know there is time for everything. So putogum, unugum, shuegum, I was mixing them.
I don't know.
So, like Samuel that heard a voice and he kept going to Eli, are you calling me? Eli said, this time when you hear it, bow down and say, Lord, speak, for thy servant heareth. So there is a listening, which is training, where they will train you. I didn't have that. So I was irritating the service and irritating the man of God. That anytime, so as if I was in competition with him. When he mentioned there is someone here, a dog spirit is pursuing you, I'll go and fake the person out.
So two prophets at work.
You got what I'm
One
saying?
speak, one selects.
So instead, like David did, that made Saul to be envious of him. So now instead of the man of God opening up to guide me, he felt intimidated. All right? That where is this one coming from? With this, number one, remember he told me when I asked him to teach me how to pray, he told me to wait. So he did not know that whilst he said I should wait, at midnight hour, we spent the whole night with the resident pastor praying. So he didn't know that I had an
You've gone
encounter.
through that, yes.
So he was both doubting my tongue speaking, both doubting the gift of God upon my life. So instead of him helping me, he started crushing me and criticizing me to the members. This one is a Muslim spirit. This one is water spirit. You see, instead of him going to God to ask, like Ananias, the high priest, go and pray for Saul. You say, I've heard by many he's a wicked person. So it tells you there are some high priests, they only operate by what they hear people say. So the man of God became so unsupportive, and then when he's preaching, half of his message is against me. You will sit in a service and you will be demonized. So one of the ladies from the church who later rented the house that I was in, I was a caretaker. She and her husband came from UK, they rented the house. When they rented the house, now they said because they are new, I should stay in the house with them. They discovered that the gift of prophecy was there. Everything they have ever achieved, I will mention their name now because they are top. But they know, if they are watching, they know the truth. And everything I prophesy, I will say, hey, I saw this happening and it will happen. I saw your office number, this and that. And they'll get a job, an office number like that. So she has been around with prophet and this and that. Then she looked at me one day and she said, I see what is happening. I think you need a mentor. You need to go somewhere that you can be given training and guidance. So she mentioned to me she said there's this man of God, Shamba Kameniampon.
Yeah, Shamba.
Who has school of prophet and whatever. But she said, I've lost his numbers. I don't have it, but I'll look for it.
Apostle Shambak.
Yes. The day she mentioned that night I went to bed, I had a dream. It was like there was a radio program and it was a dream. The next thing it's like I'm hearing the radio in the house, in my room. When I opened my eyes, it was Channel R. Apostle Shamba Kameniampon, now Archbishop Shamba Kameniampon, was on air talking about school of prophet. Are you called? Do you believe this and that? We are starting tomorrow. I took them numbers. The following day I called. I went. That's where I started the prophetic school.
Who paid you for your fees?
I did.
You did it yourself?
Yes, I did. And when I graduated, ordained as a reverend minister, I came back to the church. Because as at that time, the man of God was not ordained as a reverend minister. So I returned as a reverend minister whilst my pastor was not a reverend minister. So I went there, my clerical, the Bible they gave to me, even my shoe. If Prophet Daniel Benya is listening, that's his name. I went back and I gave him the shoe, the Bible, and the clerical. I said, although I've been ordained, I'm still your son. I'm here to say. But issues happen where there was a need for me to move.
Sometimes it's not about the challenge you have with the person.
No.
It's a matter of that is not your destination. So you have to move. People don't understand this principle.
Yes.
So I think so you move there from there finally.
Yeah, and then I started, something funny happened. I went to the place where they wash car. I went to wash my car, and I saw a particular car, which was a Chrysler. It was, I think it was maroon, a red color, ER1 or so. So I saw the car. You know, those time Chrysler is a big car. So when I saw it, I went and stood next to it. Then I came back. Then I saw a man standing where I was standing. He folded his hands like this. So I went to him, I greeted him, and I started prophesying to him. Telling him about cars that he will command, things that will happen, things that will happen. He didn't say anything. He was just quiet, listening to me. He was so humble. He didn't say a word. Me, I thought I've met a businessman that I'm just prophesying the mind of God. He kept quiet. And I don't know who he was. Later, somebody invited me to a church service somewhere in Sakumona. So they say, oh, the way you speak, if you meet that man, it's like you also speak like that with that kind of faith and command and this and that. So I attended the service. I was seated somewhere in front. Then they say, now our Papa is here, rise on your feet. When I check, it was this same man that I was. Me as a baby Christian, I was trying to prophesy to him. Lo and behold, that is Prophet Unauthorized. So I went there. And when he saw me, immediately he remembered. So we started talking. And it's almost like we became like friends. But maturity and discipline will let you know you can be age mate, but not grace mate. So I was humble enough to look at him and say,
why did you decide to then move to South Africa? Why? Was the ministry not moving well in Ghana?
No. It's, my intention was actually to go to US.
Why?
I believe I have a global calling where my ministry...
So why not go to Togo?
I've been to Togo.
You went to Togo?
I've been to Togo, I've been to Nigeria. Personally, I felt like I want to go to US. It was my choice. Okay. I want to go to...
It's not like it's a prophecy or something?
No, I didn't receive any prophecy.
Like you decided to push yourself there?
Yes. And then that day, I remember when I was going to the embassy, then I was close with Prophet Emmanuel Bedukobi, and then I asked him to support me with the bank statement and whatever, which they wouldn't usually do, but he said, Bishop, I will do this for you. But just hear me before you go. I want to do it so that you know I'm not holding anything. But, Bishop, that's not your place. And I went that day. I decided to even wear something that makes me look like Bishop. With my clerical and everything. They did not. I was ready to answer questions, anointed to defend my application. That lady didn't even ask me, what is your name? All I hear was that we've gone through your document and then we are not convinced that you will be able to
return.
You will return and this and that. Before I could say security, they bounced me the visa. When I called Prophet Kobe, he said, he laughed. He said, Bishop, I saw it. Then one day we were talking. He said, Bishop, can I tell you something? I saw the flag of South Africa behind you. And I didn't know anything about South Africa. He said, I saw the flag of South Africa behind you. And the Lord said, He's sending you to South Africa. My brother. Sometimes, when you encounter the blueprint of your destiny, it might look like an insult.
Did you see that as an insult?
I saw it as an insult.
Why?
From US, South Africa. Anything that has Africa attached to it is
the moment you hear Africa, there is a problem.
Musah, from frying pan to fire. I am getting out of Africa. And you are telling me my calling is to South Africa.
You were choosing your destination.
My own. On my own. And I was embarrassed brutally.
Why did you finally decide to move?
So I put it to a test. I said, God, I think it's like, and I'm telling you, ever since that prophecy, whatever I will touch will collapse.
Give me some examples.
Oh, it got to a point where I had fellowship. Fellowship where you can see over 900 people were in attendance every evening, once in a week. And yes, still, it got to a point, it's like, when you meet, it's like whether you don't know whether to count yourself, including anybody that will knock your house to ask about anything, you count them as members that attended the service that day.
They were all gone.
People started going. And so it felt like you are failing in ministry.
How does it feel if you get to that point? Frustrating? How does it feel?
The pain here is when whilst you are struggling, somebody is excelling.
So you're watching them excel.
So you're watching
You're doing what you're doing.
And you look at them and you say,
I'm even better than them.
I'm better. So now I understood the Bible says it's not him that willeth or him that runneth. It is the Lord that showeth mercy. My prayer is that mercy will locate somebody. Now, when that happened, I felt like I'm failing. Oh, I did fried rice.
Hey.
Yes.
Where?
Sakumono.
What's that?
Sakumono. I'm coming. Sakumono.
Show me the
I'm
point.
Coming.
I just want to watch the
I
point.
am the type of person that whatever I'm going through, I don't just run away.
Okay.
I go through to the core. And I don't just run away. I'm here today, tomorrow. I've been around Pretoria now since I came to South Africa. So I say to people, that is my integrity. That I'm not fly by night. I've been around the same area since 2008. So if they were to kill me, they would have killed me. I've been around. I've not run away. I stood my ground. It has not been easy, but I stood my ground.
Oh.
So now when I decided
to do fried rice, it's called Aki and Popo. The fried rice joint?
Yes. Next to Fridays.
Okay.
So I was competing with Fridays. People will go there and get drunk, but they will not eat from that restaurant. They will come and buy from me. I did it. From there, I did space to space in front of On the Run. That one too. I did taxi. I bought a car. I converted it to taxi. I reconverted it to the private. I've done all this.
It's not working.
You will get what to eat here and there, but I could tell that something more than that is waiting for me, but it's somewhere and I don't know where.
When did you come to the realization?
So finally, I met a friend who we were talking, and he just mentioned that there is a conference in South Africa, a mission conference and whatever. So if I'm interested. So now remember there was a prophecy. So I said,
why not give it a try?
Let me give it a try. I said yes, and they were expecting me as at that time to pay something equivalent to 3,000 rands then. Which was a lot of money, and I didn't have.
2007, 2008.
I didn't have. So now, I've already given my name. So the last day, let's say the following day, they are submitting the application of those who have paid. I still haven't paid. I called the coordinator, Jerry. I said, Mr. Jerry, I know today I was supposed to pay. I still don't have the money, but please don't take my name out. He said, Just give me a word that you are going to say, before you submit the applications, my money will be ready. And I didn't know where it is, where it will come from. I called one of my friends. I call him Brother Tushio Sapon Alan Jomo. He's in Ghana now. He's doing very well. So he went to UK. I was instrumental. We were working in the same block factory that belongs to his uncle before he went to UK. So we were friends. And then he sometimes will send me some pounds, you know, to hold my body. So I thought now that he's in Ghana, it was easy. What is 3,000 rands to him? So I called him and said, hey, my brother. I think by then he was still in UK. I said, my brother, this is what is happening. Can you please help me with 3,000 rands? This and that. He was my last hope. And he said to me, Apostle, I don't have, and I think it's a message from God that maybe it's not yet time. Why don't you probably wait next year? But this time around, there was something in me that says,
I can't wait anymore.
This must be it. So I still maintain, I said to Jerry, I said, look, add my name. I will definitely pay. The following day, I was standing in my house. That was the day they were to go and submit. So I was standing in the yard, and a lady, somebody called me, say, my prophet. I say, yes, who is this? Then she mentioned her name. She said, I thank God I could get hold of you today. Who is this? Then she mentioned, I say, oh, she said, remember when I used to come to your fellowship, you prophesy I'll be working at Accountant General Office. And God being so good, it has been 4 years now that I've been working there, and I've been looking for you. Please, where are you? I said, I'm at opposite Raviko, Nungwa. She said, I'm just passing the barrier now. Let me make a U-turn and come. Direct me. So I direct.
That is about 200, 300 meters from that point. So
she came to the house. And the first thing I said to her is, hey, Maud, before you greet me, before you say anything, do you have my visa money? Because when I was standing here, my prayer is that God provide. So anybody that will call me out of nowhere, you are the agent of that provision. And indeed, she said, I don't know how much it is, but this is an envelope I kept with me. That is something, when you said you are here, I put this aside to bless you with. I just came from US on a course. I asked, I say, what is this? How much is that? Because me, I know what I'm waiting for. Guess what? $500.
How much was it then?
It has passed the 3,000.
So what did you do?
I immediately called Mr. Jerry. I say, where are you? He said, I'm by the office. I say, don't go, wait for me. I got the money. When he saw me, he said, I will preach you the whole of the year. I say, why? He said, you have exhibited faith.
So you got a visa within short time?
I got the visa.
Okay.
Now another crisis.
Talk to me.
I need to get plane tickets.
How much was it then?
I wouldn't know, but I remember it was almost about $900 around that time. I still could remember, and there was no money. But I had a car, which also came as miracle. But so the same lady heard that I say, hey, you came and paid for my visa. Don't you think God is using you for this trip? No, me, if I see you represent manifestation of my faith, I will approach you. Yes, I approach her. And indeed, she was the solution.
She gave the money.
I said, I have a car. I can't borrow, I can't beg. at least this God has brought me this far to let me know that he's in this trip. So I had a car. Those days, Passat, it was the one that ministers use.
That is video big.
Yes. So I said, to me, this can be my Isaac. I'll sacrifice it.
So you sold it?
I said, I don't want anything. I only want my ticket. That's all. So she said, I have a brother. Let me call him and find out. The brother was ready to buy. So he bought the car. According to my plane ticket, I only had 100 rand, 100 naira, or $100 left with me in my pocket. That's what I entered South Africa with. Now, when I entered, it was just for 3 weeks course, and we go back. So all this money, losing my car and whatever, I'm going back to zero life. Not that I'm coming to start living in South Africa. It's all the things.
Come and see South Africa and go back. Go and start again and plan when you are coming back.
So they were taking us on a trip. But prior to that, it was almost around a week or few days for us to go back to Ghana. And some of them were bishops. They had their own churches, so their trip was sponsored. So some of them also had contact to go and preach. And me, I don't know anybody. I don't have anybody. So the thing, I became very sad, especially when we went to Remakole's church. And I'm the type of person that like buying books. So when we got there, everybody was buying. And I look around the library, the bookshop, I look around. The only thing I could check, talk about blood, the mystery of the blood. It was a small book. And I asked how much. They said 10 rand. And I did not have 10 rands. So I got into the bus when we were going back like this, crying.
10 rand is like 8 Ghana cedi.
Yes.
Now.
I was crying to say, so this is how traveling is. That me, today, book of this small amount I could not afford. How am I returning to Ghana? So the following day, I decided to go into fasting and prayer. I went to, they have a prayer room, small wooden room like that. I went in, and remember all the pastors that I've gathered there are from different countries. So there was this white guy, pastor that is from Canada, Vladimir, but he's originally from Russia. So me, I was in a prayer room praying. Everything that I'm saying is
your experience.
My experience. You can say anything about your experiences, but this is my experience. I was in there praying. But remember, charismatic, you pray obviously in words for a few minutes and then you start praying in tongues. I prayed in tongues for over 2 hours. I was praying. Now, in the evening, we have what we call debrief, where they will gather all of us, then we will share our experiences over the week. Then everybody, this one will say this one will say this. Then the white man, Vladimir, said, what I want to say has to do with Pastor Adams. Already I got offended, upset, thinking that, okay, you see this white guy, probably he's going to complain that I was making noise. So I was ready to defend. Of course, me, I've lost hope. I'm going back empty-handed.
The jihad spirit came back.
I'm going back empty-handed, and you are trying to come like blind Bartimaeus that is crying and people are saying, shut up. So I was ready to say, hey, you won't stop my miracle. But I was shocked what I heard. He said, for 5 years, since I became born again, my prayer has been to have the gift of tongue interpretation, to have the ability to interpret tongues. And I thank God that today I received that gift. So I sat well. So what is this guy saying?
What has it got to do with me?
He said, I was in the bathroom to take a shower. Then I heard Pastor Adams praying. I knew his voice. I know it was him. For few minutes, 5 minutes, he was just praying. I could hear somebody that's praying. Say, after 5 minutes for 2 hours, I heard him speaking accurately in Russian language. I'm a born-bred Russian. The way he was speaking with the accent, even a typical Russian will not match that. And the coordinator of that mission organization, his name is Gerard. He's also from Canada. The first thing he said is, Adams, you have the license to Russia. When are you going? For the first time. So now I said, okay. This guy, I came here praying to God, spent 2 hours talking to God for a turnaround, for an encounter, for change. And you are telling me that 2 hours, I spend it praying for people? That's what he said. He said he heard me saying, Lord, families out there that are breaking, Lord, restore them. There are people that are struggling with drugs, Lord, save them. Lord, that woman that is left with children without help, Lord, help her. I was looking at
children's home prayer.
Boiling. And I'm being honest, I'm confessing, I got upset. Everybody was excited and they saw, then this man is mysterious. This man is powerful. That's not what I was feeling. Rather,
your frustration is setting into the oil.
To the extent that, so it means I've not even gotten to a point of telling God my own problem. How am I going to be blessed or get the breakthrough I'm looking for? It means my trip to Ghana is 0. I will go empty-handed. You will be more blessed if you avail yourself to be instrument, to be a blessing to somebody. You will discover that there are certain things about your life that require you not to open your mouth. God knows. The day Job prayed for his friend, God turned his captivity around. Sir, I was disappointed. I said, till I leave this country, God, you will not hear my mouth. My dear dad is frustrated. You want to give up? I've been there. But relax. I said, God, I'm not going to talk to you. If this is how you do, you waste my time. You use what I'm saying to pray for somebody I don't know. The following day, they took us to Durban for sightseeing and White River, Amazimtoti, all these places. When we were coming back, I needed to make a call to Ghana. So when I was calling, my airtime finished. So there was a lady who's working in that mission organization. Her name is Grace. We were very close. So I said, she heard me going, She said, Pastor, what is it? I said, I'm calling home and my airtime finished. She said, Pastor, you can use my phone. Then she said, don't finish my airtime. I said, no, it's just to check how they are. When I took the phone, after the call, my spirit, that's why I said earlier, I said, be spiritual. My spirit man will not hand over the phone. So I started scrolling the phone like this. Then I look at her again, I say, Grace, it's not my star. I have no right going through your phone, but I just say, no, you're like a brother to me, feel free. I saw Bishop, I saw Prophet, I never asked anything. I only saw one name, Nduli. There was no title to it. I said, who is this Nduli? She said, who are you? I said, what do you mean? She said, I know I did not put pastor. I know I did not put bishop. You passed prophet this, bishop this, apostle this. You never asked. Why this man? I said, my spirit just couldn't, I just took interest in him. He said, do you know this is my pastor, this is my bishop. And since I met you, especially when you lead prayers and whatever morning devotion, I've always been looking for ways and means to say, can I introduce you to my bishop? Remember, my prayer was to get opportunity to preach, but I didn't say that in my prayer.
2 days to time.
Sorry?
2 days to time you leave South Africa.
No. It's about 5 days.
5 days to 3.
Now I said, can you call him? Let me talk to him. She said, okay. Then she called. The moment he answered, I said, sir, I see a young girl at age 9 around you. He said, that's my daughter. I said, from that child, you've been praying for God for another child, but nothing has happened. He said, it's true. I said, the Lord is about to work on you. So I started prophesying. She was shaking because she knew she never told me anything. The man himself was shaking. He said, where are you? I said, we are on our way. Talk to her. She said, no. Then she directed him the time we will be arriving. That same evening, the bishop came with a big car looking for me. When he came after we ministered, he said, today, I'm doing crusade. I'm starting today. Can you come and speak? I went there. That was when I was preaching. People were driving on the road, like in the car passing. I was in the tent. I was calling their name. Park your car, enter, they will come. That's how it started. Now, that one finished. Cut a long story short, I went back home. I had some cool 40,000 rands, which was a lot of money.
So when you mentioned 40,000, it's like 32,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
320 million.
So I went home very nice.
Vim.
Then, as I got home, there was a man of God that I ministered to in that crusade. So he decided to take my number and said to me that he is a pastor, he has connection with churches, so he want me to come. He want to buy my plane ticket, and then he will take me to churches to minister. Not knowing it, he's a businessman. You know, this guy made me to preach in a whole month in a row, to a point where one day I got into the bathroom, I collapsed, and I was vomiting blood. That is how tired, strenuous it was. And wherever we go, he would tell them, this is my prophet, I brought him. And then, so the offering, the seed and whatever, he will be keeping with the intention that after the service, after the program, we will share. He will give me my honorarium, which was fair. Then my son, Bennett, was in Ghana. He was sick at the point of dying. So I then asked him, and I know there was almost about 300 and something thousand rands then that was still in his account. So I asked him, can you just give me something like 5,000? Let me send home. I was then in Rustenburg. He said, no, come. When you come in the morning, when the bank open, I'll just go and deposit it. So I came with the last money I had from Rustenburg to Pretoria. I arrived 9 a.m. I called him. He answered, oh, I'm sending someone to go and deposit it. I'll call him 11. I'm sending someone 12. I'm sending till 5 p.m. Then he switched off his phone. Remember, I don't stay in Pretoria. Rustenburg to drive is about 2 hours. To drive. I've not eaten the whole day. No money, nothing. I have to walk from Pretoria to Rustenburg.
How many hours?
To drive is 2 hours.
So I'm asking.
You can calculate that thing.
I don't know if you were jogging or walking. I want to know the
I was walking and I was tired, hungry, and sad and sorrowful on a lonely journey. Lonely road. Filled, hurt, betrayed, abused, used. And all I could say is because I'm a foreigner. I have no one to call and say, help me. I arrived Rustenburg almost 1 a.m.
So like about 5, 6 hours, 7 hours walk?
And it was winter.
Hey.
So
Did you prepare? Did you prepare a wear jacket or something?
Nothing.
I came here and I'm even about 15. I'm not comfortable in Joburg.
So that really hurt me, broke me, and I felt like, okay, this guy, this what he. And the following, I think my time happened. God, the time for me to go back to Ghana happened, and then I left. He didn't give me any money.
Not any.
A cent. The next thing, he went and bought cars. He bought cars, a lot of cars, with the money. He was running funeral parlor, this and that. So one day, I called him from the painful heart. And I said, this thing you have done to me, if you think God is a man, think again. You will perish with the same thing that you use to hurt me. You know, gradually, he started having problems. Losing one car, losing this, losing his businesses. One day I was there when he called me. He said, hey, man of God, pray for me. I've heard that God has remembered you in my country.
So you came back again?
I came back.
Now you can come back.
So this time I came to start working with African Missions. It's a mission organization that took me around Central Africa, building churches, raising pastors, empowering pastors. So he called me one day and he said, man of God, please help me. Even now, I don't even have a bicycle. Can I borrow one of your car? And I said, the judgment of God has hit you. And as at the time he was asking for a car, I had more than 10 cars. God faithfully blessed me that I've been able to give over 98 cars away. There is no man of God in this country, foreigner, that will say they've not heard about me. But it was not more about the success. It was about the lesson. Success will surely come. But until you get the lesson that God or life wants you to get, you will not even know you have arrived. When I entered this country, apart from that experience, I want to say that South Africa and South Africans have been nothing but generous to me.
Tell me, but they say foreigners don't do well with all these xenophobic attacks and here and there. What do you mean by they've been well to you?
When you go to the zoo, do you have people that feed the lions?
Yeah, there are people like that.
Okay. But lions are dangerous.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's the ability to study and to know your place and not overstepping your boundaries. This is not your country.
This is a proverb, so speak to us. Explain in detail.
This can never be my country. This can never be my country.
How many years have you stayed now?
Since 2008.
This is about 14 years.
It's not my country. I can't compete with South Africans. So the only thing, the least I can do is to have respect for them and their beliefs. Have respect for their culture. The only thing I can do is to be tolerant, to put myself in their shoes. And you should put yourself in their shoes, both positive and negative. Why should they trust you as a foreigner? So you too will have the same problem if they come to your country. So why should they trust you as a foreigner? Trust is not demanded. Trust is earned. You need to subject yourself to be trusted. If it is the ground that allow you to experience what you couldn't experience in your country, the least you can do is to respect it as your country too. So see to it betterment. And there is one principle that has aided my where I am today.
Show us the way.
And that is, I want to be the only Ghanaian that will be the reason any South African, when they meet a Ghanaian, they hear you are a Ghanaian. For the sake of me, whatever the person stands in need of, it shall be given to them in reference to how good I am to them. Not the wicked Ghanaian that will be the reason other Ghanaians will be rejected. How do you relate with it? When you meet the one that is sick, be a helping hand. When I go to the garage, if I go to filling station garage where they sell petrol, if I go with you now, you'll be shocked. The moment I park my car, all of them will leave what they are doing to rush to my car. I'm not special, I'm not what? But one thing is, at least, before the person will think you are here taking our money and this and that, let them know that they have a share in the little that God gives to you. So at least when they serve you, bless them, share with them. I will go to scatter camps, I will go to places where drug addicts, street people are. Sometimes I will go and bring them. Winter time, I will go in the middle of the night without anybody. I will go feed them, clothe them. It could be me. So whenever there is problem and you are involved, they don't look at your nationality. They look at your humanitarian approach to issues of life. Who are you? Why should they protect you? Because Ubuntu. There is oneness, there is love. I don't care who you are.
You've made it in South Africa.
Yes.
One thing they normally say is that other nationals are taking their places in terms of job and all that. If you're giving people money doing all these things, would that not portray the fact that you have made it here and they are not making it? So that would be a point of call to attack you.
The gospel I preach and the God I serve does not believe in pretending. If I'm blessed, I'm blessed. No excuse to that. I'm not poor. I'm not. Remember what I said. God has been generous and gracious to me. I've not really suffered apart from the little experiences. I've not really suffered like where to sleep, where, you get what I'm saying? God has brought people around me who either saw me as a brother, as a father, as a friend, and all of them have contributed to where I am.
4 years ago, 5 years ago, there were brutal xenophobic attack on other nationals. You were here in South Africa. How did you survive it?
I didn't even feel it.
Why? How? Others' businesses went zero. So many things happened. You were here, but you didn't. Why? How did you survive it?
Being careful, minding my business. Sir, in this country, there's nobody that will tell you that I came to their house. I visited since 2008. Nobody. Konkonsi konkominya amane. Mpese mini obi abedi agoro. Akasa besi. Ama ochine bi entamu atete. Intimate mabobo ano. Ya na metwene me ho. Me riunfoba. I know where I'm coming from. I don't parade myself to say, oh, I'm from a rich family. No. If it does not work, I'm doomed. So I'm mindful of my background.
Were you informed about the attack? Do you have any information where not to go, where to go during that time?
Let me say this clearly. There's a whole lot of misconception.
Talk to me.
You know, to a point when I was coming to South Africa, people think they can coach you and tell you, no, when you are walking, you know, South Africa, wherever you go, people are holding gun. So when you are walking, you must put your hands in your pocket and then act like this. So they will think you also have gun. There's as if wherever you go, they will be pointing gun at you. A whole lot of misconception. And this thing that I'm saying will differ from provinces, locations, and whatever it is.
Because where my hotel is, Jovel, that's what they tell you. Even in the afternoon, the way people stand and watch you, even you don't even come out, they tell you all these things before you land in South Africa.
You see, grouping sometimes is good and sometimes is bad. Because if people can identify an area to say this is where foreign nationals are, you are not safe. I can tell you some of the attack that is unleashed on foreign nationals. Trust me, some of them are not by South Africans. It's our own people. Our own. If you see an inciting as an indigenous rising against a foreigner, trace it very well. There is a brother who exposes.
But you can't tell me the crime rate in South Africa is that good. This afternoon, on our way to Pretoria, there was a armed robbery case that the police were chasing. I was even.
Is there not armed robbery case in Ghana?
Yeah. They are there, but
So
I'm talking about crime rates.
What I'm also saying is that rate is rate, whether it's 0.1 or 100%, it's rate. The moment you mention rate, is rate. Let us become custodians of good news, so that people, even if it is the little good things, let's speak more of the good things, because only light can swallow darkness, no matter how small it is.
But you know there are people, the gun thing you mentioned, there are so many people who are possessing guns in South Africa than in America.
There.
Research
says there. That. What I'm saying is, it is there.
They can run away from the fact.
Okay, so shouldn't I do what I'm doing?
You should do it.
Okay, what I'm saying is, know yourself, know your territory, know where you go to. When you gather around where people drink, what do you expect? That you offend someone, you insult someone, and you won't expect slapping? But when you insult someone from a church because they are sober, they reason before they take action.
You've done so much in South Africa in terms of ministry. Your ministry is one of the biggest.
Let me qualify this so that it doesn't sound like the crime rate is high. The crime rate is high.
You can't run away from that.
You can't run away. But the point here is that you should not be the one that will be a victim.
How do you escape that?
Number one, there are places as a foreign national you should not stay.
Tell me some of the places.
I won't mention.
You will mention in South Africa?
I won't.
Okay.
Like where you mention Yeovil.
Hebrew is part, right?
Hebrew. You get what I'm saying? These are areas that people are surviving. Everybody
survival of fittest.
You get what I'm saying? So such a place,
animal kingdom.
Everybody is stressing over something.
You want to survive by the end of the day.
You get what I'm saying? So you always be on the lookout. If you are born in a jungle, you practice how to live in a jungle. But to me, it is safer to find a place where people mind their business. If you get to a place where you find 100 people sleeping outside and they are citizens, and you want to drive Porsche car around there all the time, the day they fail to get drug, money for drug, you'll be their next target. So what we do with crime rate is because of certain things that we do. We like to show off. We like to, step on people's toe.
To show who we are.
To show who
we are better than them.
Anybody that goes to the bank, they go there for a purpose, they finish, they leave. Why do you go and withdraw money? I'm just giving an example. And you start counting it in front of somebody that has been given ultimatum that if they don't bring 1,000 rand or 2,000 rand by the close of the day, their child will not return to school. And you are counting thousands of money in front of the person. Temptations are there. Even Jesus said when we pray, we should ask God not to lead us into temptation. Protect yourself. Make sure that whatever you are doing is legit. Those in a glass house do not throw stone. Don't also live in this land and think, oh, we have traveled. You meet Ghanaians, they will sit somewhere and say, "Shey, you have traveled, I don't have time for church." You must have time for God. All that I'm saying here, only God, like Cain, said to God, "My punishment is too much. Anyone that will see me will kill me." He said, and the Lord marked him and said, from today, anyone that will hurt Cain will also die. Paul said, let no one hurt me from this day, for I bear in my body the mark of Christ. Know your source. God can protect you in the midst of trials. Don't blame it on people. Blame it on yourself. What am I doing? How am I living my life? When you are wrong, approach it quickly, because the more you keep hurting people, one way or the other, they will begin to form alliance. And in your day of trouble, they can eliminate you.
How have you made it so far through the church to keep the people? Because now foreigners are not, the churches from outside South Africa is not really doing well. How did you, what's your secret?
It's honesty. My church is like a family. Mm-hmm. They are not church members, they are family members.
Okay.
So they need you. They need you. Over the years, you have proven to be an asset to them. They hear God through you. God delivered them through you. God healed them through you. In the midst of challenges, whether death, whether life, whether accident, whatever, you are there. So the people themselves will protect you.
So, in terms of spirituality, who you say you are to attract these people? You say you're a spiritual person.
He said, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. He has anointed me to do what? Bishop, I'm asking you, to do what? Why did he put the Spirit on me? To preach the gospel. For this reason, the Son of Man is manifested to destroy the works of the devil.
So that is your area.
My area is to go to the root cause
of your challenge.
Of your challenge. And most of the people in top leadership, they have a lot to do, but they have little time to prepare themselves spiritually. And easy lies on the head that wears the crown. So at the end of the day, God has given me that grace in this country where people that encountered me somewhere, that some started from ordinary staff officer, and then, you know, graciously they have risen. Some are colonels, captains, generals, and you, by the grace of God, even the chef to the president is with me.
Oh.
You see, so it has to do with availing yourself to be trusted. I don't say what everybody is saying. I say what God is saying, and because God is the one saying, there is testimony. If somebody decides not to come to my church again, it will have nothing to do with God and the things of God. It will have to do with their personal preference and personal issues. You get what I'm saying? So that is the weight of the ministry. That based on our mandate, we attract certain kind of people. And also, my memberships go beyond what you see seated. I see more people behind the scene than in church.
So how many people do you sit every Sunday?
A full house.
You mentioned for the size of the house will determine that.
A full house.
So when you mention full house, what does that mean? 1,000, 2,000, 5,000?
Including angels.
I understand. I'm talking about the physical.
About the members. I've not counted. But one thing I know is that
the house is full.
The house is full. You see, I'm tempted. I want to make sure that I don't say things that are beyond or less.
I get it.
Remember, I don't believe in memberships.
What do you believe in?
I believe in fellowship. We come to fellowship to seek the face of God. Membership is like as if I have a bucket and I want to fill it. I want it to be full.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
So that's my interest. I don't care whether there is a lizard, whether there is what. All I want is to fill. But I believe in quality. Each member that I have, that I say a member, I know them to the core.
Tell me, church building in South Africa. You've been here, you know it. In Ghana, anybody gets up and just gets a certain room and church is starting. What's the process like, registration and all that? What are the principles? I know South Africans are very straight when it comes to documentations. Certain things need to be done. You can't just get up and start fellowship in certain park somewhere and all that. What's the process like in South Africa?
It's straightforward. If you want to do it right, you first have to identify your leaders.
They have a documentary process you go through?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to identify your leaders, sell the vision to them, the constitution, believe in it, trust them. Those who feel like they are part of the ministry, you go with them, and basically it has to be more South Africans.
Okay. To register?
To register the church. And once you register, there is one that you are exempted from tax, and there's one that you pay tax. If you register it as a company, there's a different approach, and if you register it as NPO, non-governmental, non-profit organization, it's also there. That is, you'll be exempted from tax and what.
Why do you register a church as a company? Why is it allowed? Because church is a non-profit entity.
It depends on the vision of the ministry.
Okay.
Some ministries will have business attached to it.
Okay.
And so the moment you start bringing business, you can't escape paying the taxes and whatever. So you have to declare it.
What business can you attach to church?
Business.
What example?
No. You can run a boutique you can run transport company
or something as a church.
Bookshop is just within, it's still ministry.
Okay.
But I'm talking of something that will require corporate structure. Okay, to say, all right, we are into logistics, we are into this, that's a company.
Okay.
But it can still be under the church.
Okay.
So with that, you need to
Pay
taxes
part.
on that, you know.
Oh. If you don't do that, can they collapse the church?
Yes. Not just that, there are certain criteria. If you are not following, they can collapse your church.
Okay.
In terms of finances, how you handle the finances, how...
Do they check you as in auditors coming in to check your staff?
Once in a while, they will do that.
Okay.
You have to send your bookkeepings, you know, annually. You know,
your offerings, everything that goes in, what you do with the money,
what you do with the money, you know, is within the constitution that you need to. Yeah. So it's straightforward. Just that these days it's becoming more difficult. Registering is not a problem as running.
Okay. Why?
These days, hardly will you get a space for church.
Why?
I believe that COVID brought the church to a very compromising state where, because of COVID, because their gathering is what allowed them to solicit some offerings to be able to take care of the bills. So if people are no longer coming to church because of COVID, then the church will be left struggling because there is no money in the coffers. So because of that, people that rented their properties to the church were tagged as Satans.
Oh.
Because at the end of the day, if for 6-7 months you are not paying and they live on that, they have to close down the church and they become demons.
Meanwhile, it's their business
It's
too.
their business too. So to avoid all those things, it put the church in a state of not being financially sound. So it's like a risk that the person will be taking. To say, if I give it to church tomorrow, the church might not be able to pay.
So they have.
So the moment you can see a very beautiful space or whatever that you want to use, you apply. They say it's available. Then they will ask you the unwanted question. The moment they ask you, you have to start speaking in tongues, because they will ask you, for what are you looking for this place? What are you going to use? The moment you say church, say sorry. We don't allow church. So that's also a problem. And also, because of the COVID, people had time to listen to junks. You know, people have time to go on social media, and pastors and churches being castigated. And there's a very sad story that I read and also watched. Baba Spirit. I think
we buried him last week.
He said something when they were interviewing before he died. They said, this your sickness. So didn't you get any pastor to pray for you? Because now you knew that it was spiritual. He said he has many pastors' friends. But at that time, he couldn't. Because of the expose they did and this. It made him a bit, it affected him. That he know I have this pastor, but who would you believe? Who do you trust? So even though he is connected to pastors, he couldn't go because of the informations he has received. And you see, so that is the damage that social media and whatever has done. So what the church needs to do now is apologetic. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to stop doing certain things. This is not the time to stop collecting tithe. It's not the time to stop collecting offering. It's a mandate. You are not wrong doing it. Unless you yourself know that you are not called, or your motive
You're
for
just looking for chop money.
You get what I'm saying? But if you are really called, whether they believe it or not, stand your ground. You get what I'm saying? So it's because of people are no longer able to talk about money, they are no longer able to instruct people rightly on seed sowing, tithe, and whatever. The Bible said there was a king, the Moabite king. When he saw the battle was fierce for him, he did something. Or you will be sitting and say, what happened? These people were winning. What happened? Men don't just rise. He investigated what is the secret behind their rising. They told him that these ones are Abrahamic seed. And Abraham made a covenant with the Lord through offering Isaac. And the Lord said, your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. So when he heard about what they did to bring them into this magnitude of strength, he took his son. He did the same. And the Bible said the game changed. All right? So whatever it is, as a church, the only way we can survive is to believe in our gospel, believe in our God, believe in our calling, and be true to our calling. We shouldn't become prophet overnight because there is profit. We shouldn't become apostles overnight because there is challenges within the prophetic. We see men of God now changing. Today he is a prophet. Tomorrow is a reverend. The next thing is this. You should be there when it's good. You should be there when it's bad. So at the end of the day, there will be a king that will say, Daniel, servant of the living God, as the Lord whom thou servest day and night, has he been able to save you. We are here because the God we preach to South Africans is watching over us. He is our provider. He is our source.
Your advice to Ghanaians in South Africa, those that want to come, those that are home pastors who are here, who are Ghanaians or African, from other African nationals, and also to those who want to come as pastors to South Africa.
Number one, there's this impression that South Africans are fools. So anybody can just enter and do whatever. It's not true. South Africa as a nation, first and foremost, we have a lot to learn from them. And we also have a lot to teach them. So whenever you come into South Africa, especially I will speak to my sisters and brothers who you're doing a particular business in Ghana and somebody will just come and say, hey, I'm doing well in South Africa, leave everything and follow me. It doesn't work like that. You must have the passion. You must know exactly what is it that you are bringing. Because there are many people who were teachers in Ghana. When they entered here, they became barbers. They work in the salon. Because what somebody told them is not what they saw here. There is no money falling from a particular tree in South Africa. Hard work. Sincerity. It might not come instantly, but if you give yourself time, it will yield results. And businesses wise, make sure your documents are right. Just make sure of it. Because most of the problems that foreign nationals will face will be documentation. Don't go and do something that is not legit. And when you are doing business, make sure it's legit. Because the security system in this country is not like Ghana. It's intense. So make sure you do the right thing. And also, avoid unnecessary gathering. Every birthday party you are there. Every housewarming you are there. Every street bash you are there. These are places that can affect your life. And number 2, don't forget where you are coming from. You see, 1 rand is how much? You say 10 rands is how much in Ghana?
8 cedis.
8
cedis.
8 cedis. What can 8 cedis buy in Ghana?
Today, you can buy a sachet water, a bag of a sachet water now.
A bag?
You can buy.
Like just one or the sachet?
If you mention the bag is now 10, 12 cedis.
Okay.
So it's more than 10 rand. Yes, in Ghana now.
Okay.
So 8 cedi cannot buy a bag.
So the point I'm making here is that but 20 cedis can do.
You can do. You have some extra 10 rand behind.
So when you have something like 1,000 rand, how much do you think is in?
800 cedis.
Can it do something?
Can do something.
But do you know you can go to a restaurant and that 1,000 rand will finish?
Yes, I know.
What happened now is, if you forget the currency of your country, chances are that you will abuse what could build a house for you in Ghana. So you always have to remind yourself, why were you here in the first place? Why are you here? And your spending, the moment you become used to the country, you start going to the shops they go to. You start buying where they buy. You will not be able to do anything home. So after 3, 4, 5 years, you turn back, you have nothing. Whatever it is you are buying here, make sure that is something that if tomorrow you have to go.
So unu say sika bit my bibi e fie. So measure me buy am this cattle for restaurant dey na beto aduane a it is around 50 rand. The least you can buy is around 50 rand. You see that, so may depend to check it say because 1,000 cedis are they better to, so you should be able to do that so that you don't just waste the money.
Because the point here is that 50 rand that you can use to buy food, and just say be show say POP na say commodore now, no. But the point I'm making is say Sebi, so what me the 50 rand on so tour every day. Now they do a question every day with the 50 rand tour. What's the 50 rand? A Ghana is
Maybe 42 cedis.
42 cedis. Ghana who used to sue 42 cedis a day. Is kaketwa.
Times 30 is kabo.
What did they make an asset? Enti yenya vision
be 1,200.
Yenya vision be get a vision in Ghana. Let it be the reason you are here. And just put it, maybe it's your target. I want to build a house. So that 100 rand is how much in Ghana?
Is about 100 rand is about 80 Ghana cedis.
80 Ghana cedis. How much is your cement these days?
Now 80 cedis.
Huh?
80 cedis.
So you see, that 100 rand, you can go to Sunnyside, Richard's restaurant. Chances are that you will not come out with a change. So if you have that understanding, say 100 rand can buy a bag of cement.
Let me check my spending.
And you have a vision of building a house. Don't ever think that there is money that will come in a bulk one day and you say, okay, this one is enough to build a house. Everybody, including Osel Kwame Despite, chairman, will tell you that they started by saving some money for what they believe in tomorrow.
People also assess South Africa as a Ghanaian pastor or problem or challenge. So one or aiding it through. So about church, if you are or spiritual problem, be the baby area. How do they get in touch with you? How should they get in touch with you? Wherever they are in the world, if they want to get close.
Wherever they are, they can contact my office.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you ready to give the number, or
yes.
should you put it on the screen?
Yes, you can put it on the screen.
So I think it's on the screen.
Yes.
So pick the number and
yes.
speak with you.
Yes.
Is it directly or through somebody?
It's through my PA.
Okay. Is it difficult to get to? Do we pay some money before talking to you?
Also for my time matters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. My time matters. So there is ignorance of a thing leads to its abuse.
Okay.
So it's not every case that you need to pay.
Okay.
But like I said, in my speciality is my office. That I sit with you, we go through your life issues and whatever. With that, there is a booking fee.
More like a counseling or something.
Yes.
Okay.
But to come to church and God blessing you, healing you, there's no fee. But when you realize
that bulldozer kind of
this one,
you go detail.
Nobody in the family is succeeding. Things are going against me. Somebody's altar is fighting me. There will be some actions, prophetic actions and whatever. So you get me to sit down and give you time. So you register.
Okay.
Registration is to check your seriousness, because I'm very busy. If I should wait for you and you just call last minute to say, sorry, I couldn't make it, it's because you didn't pay anything. But if you pay something, black mentality is in such a way that even if I spend 1 cent, I want to be there. So those are some of the things, and so they can access me on
social media and all
social
that.
media.
The website, we have it.
Yes.
Please, we'll put all this information on the screen for us, as you can see.
So you can.
Bishop, you're blessed tonight to have you. It's an honor.
It's a blessing from my side.
We've learned so much.
It's humbling.
I've experienced this within these few days we've been in South Africa. Most of the things you're saying, I've experienced them. Even myself and my production head will tell you, we sit down and say, where are we going? How much is it? We sit down calculating, checking ourselves, because you came with a certain amount in back, so you don't waste them. It's a super thing. Thank you very much, Bishop.
You're welcome.
I know anytime you come to South Africa, we will come, and you do bulldozer on our lives too.
Anytime I come to Ghana, please prepare for me.
I will prepare for you so much.
Prepare for me.
I think we didn't even get anywhere. One day we go into your Muslim life, where you were the hardest. We go into that area and you help us to
dive into it.
It's lovely having you. Thank you very much.
For my prayer and my advice to men of God. Please, let me say this. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Whoever you are, the rank you operate from, the position you are in, let's put childish behavior aside. It's never too late to defend the altar. It's never too late to do away certain things so that the world will have respect for us again. Some of the things that is never heard of, that has never been done, today we are doing it. And one of the things that is happening is that because you are in the comfort of Ghana and you are your home, you do whatever you have to do, it affects our global impact. Because we are in the days of social media. So whatever you do at home, people watch it here. So when you go anywhere and you say, I'm from Ghana, they tag you with those kind of things. Please, Ghana is not a ritualist place. Ghana is not a place of voodoo. Even if there is voodoo, every country has it. But let us not allow ourselves to be branded as if we don't know God, as if there is no power in God. Let us rebrand ourselves. Let us talk to one another. Forget about titles. You do know that most of the things that you are doing now is the reason why we have chaos. The fathers are not ready to share their story with their sons. So they make the sons think as if to be right, to have power, to exhibit the grace of God is mystical that they can never achieve until they die. So it has made the children, the young ones that want to be like the fathers, they will resort in other avenues. Let fathers be able to tell them it wasn't easy. The glory of today is directly connected to the story of yesterday. Let us know that there was a time you fell. Let us know that there was a time you didn't feel like man of God. And let us know how you survived the temptation and the pressure. And don't look at the young man and despise him because of the little mistakes he's making. I do believe there is God in Ghana. I do believe there is fire in Ghana. And I do believe Ghana has a place in the world's restoration and in the healing of the world. Let us be true to ourselves. Not Christian council, not anybody, but you as a man of God. If you're a teacher, go back to teaching. If you're a prophet, stay there. If you're a pastor, stay there. And let also appreciate different grace and honor. Don't sit on the camera and just talk. Ministry is beyond just talking. Those that did it has a very drastic ending. Our children are coming. Our sons and daughters are coming. We owe it to Mother Ghana to find our place in the spheres of Ghana and in political, in whatever. Let us be honest. Let us separate ourselves from anything that will make any man who is not sanctified to even speak against us. Pastor Nyansa, I pray that the TV programs and your vision will last, and it will not be biased, that it will carry the mandate of God. And as you are going back to Ghana, my prayer is that you will learn something from South Africa, that at least 5 years to come, there will be a change in a little corner that will be attributed to the visit of Pastor Nyansa to South Africa. That is what will happen. And our leaders have failed us in this way. They come, they eat banku, they do everything here. But after they become president and they leave, you wonder whether they ever visited countries like this. They come and buy houses here, but they will not implement what they saw here in Ghana. Our leaders must not just be leaders that want to lead. If you are not learning, you can't lead. Leaders, learn. Learn from other countries, how South Korea did it, how China did it, how US is doing it, and let us take it a step by step. Yenara assassin, boarding thing. Let us make sure we will defend the integrity of Ghana. Long live Ghana. Long live Ghanaians in diaspora, and may our labor and pursuit be graciously blessed. Thank you.
How do I say? I think there's so much inspiration to the body, a country like Ghana, the leadership, the ministers, and even everybody listening. There is hope Ghana still the beacon of Africa, the starting point where things happen. We can still have it done. God bless you so much for joining me. This has been myself and Apostle Harry Musah Adams, all the way from South Africa. Thank you, my helpers, my supporters. God bless you so much for listening. I know you enjoyed it. Share it to everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Let's grow together. Remember to click on it and become a member of the channel. God bless you so much. Bye for now.